Okay, if you feel confident that you have got this down, we can move on to part 2, and we're going to make a small train station down here using this same idea of a vanishing point with orthogonal lines coming out toward us and transversal lines for the train and a train station. It's going to be set up very similar to this. This is going to end up being the train, and we're going to have lots of long little train pieces here. Okay, you can kind of see how that could be a train. We're just going to put an engine on it. And over here, we don't need all this, but we're going to make a little train station out of this with a part that's coming out. And we're going to have little docking areas right here, the little covered awning. So this is kind of what we're going to do down here, just so you'll have an idea. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start with our middle vanishing point, and let's make all of our things that we need right here. Okay, so I have my grid here with my 4 quadrants. So let's go ahead and make our square over here and our rectangle over here for our building. Okay, I put my square a little bit closer to my center line than I did before because I want my train a little bit closer since I'm going to have it attached to a little platform. And I put my building over here as well. And I put it just a tad bit closer too. Now we're going to take our corners here on both of our objects because these are the corners closest to the middle. They're going to be going in. And let's attach all of our orthogonal lines to that vanishing point. Alright, now we're going to add a couple of more shapes to this, okay? We are going to, at the front of this, we're going to add a cylinder. Now remember, this is what a cylinder looks like. Alright, let me draw a couple of more. Okay, so depending on what direction the cylinder is sitting, we're going to see it drawn differently, okay? Now this one is going to be more of the one that we're about to do here. So I'm going to just lightly sketch the back because I want it to fill up most of this space. And then it's going to also be coming out. Here's the front of it. It's going to be attached like this. Now we're going to have to draw the front of our train. So we're going to bow over to the side a little bit. We don't want to cut this in half because remember this is kind of a little off to the side. So we're going to draw just like this. Little arrow. And notice how this side has more space than this one does, okay? That's because our object's tilted to the side. It's not straight in front of us. So since it's not straight here, it's out to the side a little bit. You're going to have a little more space on this side of your object, okay? See how the center goes like that? Alright, so we'll put another little spot up there. Now let's draw some lines. You know how they kind of radiate. We don't want them all straight up and down. They're radiating from a center point. Then we can draw this part back, attach it. Now we need a cylinder that's sticking up like this on the top. So we're going to draw our rounded bottom. Let's have it sticking up. Here's our top. And then we're going to put like a cone on top of that. See, we have a cone on top of that. So we have a cylinder like this. Okay. And then like a bowl almost on top of that. And you can erase all of the lines you don't need, but I'm using a pen, so I can't really erase anything. Then we can just separate our cars. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so here our train is separated. I separated all the box cars in the same way that we separated these. When you draw the transversal lines, they have to be parallel with either the horizon line or this vertical line that separates your quadrants, okay? So I had all the vertical lines, which are here, here. They all need to be parallel with this. They should go up and down just like this one goes up and down. Horizontal lines should all be going left to right in the same direction as this. So they should all be parallel too. So check all that. And you can also put some wheels under yours, and I just did 2 little half circles, just colored them in black per box, and they got smaller and smaller obviously until they just disappeared because they're gone on the orthogonal lines. Okay, and Now we can do our track. So we're just going to extend this line. You can use a ruler if you'd like, on out. Then we can do some tracks. Now look, see how that one was kind of sideways? It needs to be like this, right? Let me fix that. There's just some tracks. Now we can move on to this. Now you can design this any way you want. It doesn't matter to me, okay? But basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna draw some of my transversal lines. So I have to make sure it's parallel with this out here for their deck. I gotta come up here. So I gotta cut all this stuff off. Don't need all this. You can erase it if you want. And then I wanna have two little platforms that are coming out. This one's gonna be a little bit bigger since it's closer. Remember, things get bigger as they get closer. Now, you need to notice these lines here. If they were going back, see how they're in line with that? I didn't make them straight like this, right? Because these are straight, but that's only because it's straight on the line. But if I move out, it's not going to be straight anymore. So these are at an angle, okay? Because these are orthogonal lines here. They're moving away from us. The platform's moving away. Now I'm going to make some of the poles for the platform for this whole thing. It's going to be one of those old-timey ones. And I can put some of these. Now these are also orthogonal lines, so they have to also change direction, see, as they move out, okay? Because things, see, it's like a clock. You can even put a little awning over it if you want. I'll put a large pole here, a large pole here. So there's my little train station. You can do whatever you want to this to make it look however you want it to look. So, a little smoke. And there is your train. Okay, so first of all on this sheet, what I want you to do is go ahead and we're going to color our lines, okay? So let's look at our orthogonal lines first. Color all of those in red. Okay, so here is all of our orthogonal lines. I don't know if you got them all or not because there's a lot even, because this one has a grid on it because of the tile and a wall stuck here. So it's not going to go to a vanishing point. That's what makes this difference. This is more like a gridded sheet. So all the lines on the cabinet here, any lines that's going from front to back, okay, that's going away from us, those are all orthogonal lines. So you should have all of those done. Let's do our transversal lines now, the ones that make our shapes, our vertical lines and our horizontal lines. Okay, so there are all our transversal lines as well. All the lines that go up and down and left to right. So if you notice, every time there is some orthogonal lines, there's also some transversal lines with it to finish it out. Now, the only ones that we're going to see transversal for the whole side, that the whole thing is green, are going to be the shapes that this object makes at the end when we get to the end of it. Now, if this would have kept going, we would have not seen the end of it, and it would not be here. We would just see all of this right here. So, but all these cabinets came to an end where we were, okay? And so we were able to see the end of these cabinets. Now, let's move down to here. And what I want you to do is I want you to draw your own cabinets. It doesn't have to be like this. It could be just more of a box on the side. But the only thing you need to make sure that you remember as you do this is, since this is a grid, and we're not doing it from a vanishing point this time, this is a gridded area because it has this, like a wall they stuck and put it right here, okay? If you make an object that is 2 by 2, okay, that means 2 squares over, 2 squares down. When you come out here, you see the floor, see how you follow it? It has to stay 2 squares wide. So I can come all the way out to here, and there's going to be the end of my object. 2 squares wide, 2 squares tall, okay? Then I would just have to come out and and make this. So here is the back. I would come straight out until these two join and try to make it as straight as possible, and then connect my lines, and there is part of my cabinet, the bottom part. Okay, just remember, so it has to have the same proportion. Okay, you can't have just 4 squares here, but out here you're using all 3 of them, 3 out here and 3 up here. That's not going to work. And you can put some over here. You can do whatever you want to this. You don't even have to make a cabinet. You can make a bed or whatever you want. Just do something in this little room area you got here. And you can put a window in the back like they did. Just remember, it's just going to be flat. And you can even try cabinets up here. So have fun with this and just piddle around with it and see what you can make. And just attach this into your book as well. All right? We'll see you Tuesday. Good job.